episode 605 of 360 Wrestling Fanatic. Gonna be talking about tonight's final episode of AEW Dynamite before Double or Nothing, which featured crowning a new number one contender for Chris Jericho's FTW Championship, a return, and a flamethrower. Gonna be talking about, and even a bloodbath. Gonna be talking about everything that took place on tonight's episode of AEW Dynamite. All that right here, right now. 360 Wrestling Fanatic. Hello, Wrestling Fanatics. Welcome to 360 Wrestling Fanatic. I'm Lance Brock. It's Wednesday. You know what that means. Time to talk about tonight's AEW Dynamite, which was the go-home episode of Dynamite before this Sunday night's AEW Double or Nothing pay-per-view. And we got a lot to talk about from tonight's show. Thank you for tuning in on this Wednesday night. And let's just jump right into it. Talk about Dynamite tonight at the Mechanics Bank Arena. I hope I said that right. In Bakersfield, California. Our commentators for tonight: Excalibur, Tony Schiavone, the Human Suplex Machine, Taz, and for the first segment, they are being joined by Don Callis on commentary. And we start off with tag team action: Freshly Squeezed, Orange Cassidy, and the aerial assassin Will Ospreay teaming up against Trent Beretta and the AEW International Champion Roderick Strong. Pretty good way to start off the show. Trent Beretta and Roderick Strong, though, picking up the win with some help from Wardlow. Then after the match, the Undisputed Kingdom go on the attack, and Don Callis gets off commentary, starts to go over there, but he backs off to the Undisputed Kingdom. And then we have the Bang Bang Gang, the unified AEW and Ring of Honor Trios and World 6-Man Tag Team Champions. And then we have Pac on the screen, and he has some help from the Lucha Brothers. The Sunday at Double or Nothing, the Bang Bang Gang will defend those titles against the Death Triangle, Pac and the Lucha Brothers, Rey Fenix, and Penta El Zero Miedo. And next we have the three-way match to determine the number one contender for the FTW Championship. And there are actually two winners in this match. Hook and Shibata defeating bounty hunter Brian Keith. And now at Double or Nothing this Sunday, we will have a three-way match for the FTW Championship. Chris Jericho will be defending against both Hook and Katsuyori Shibata. That should be a fun, entertaining match right there. Kind of surprised, though, that they didn't go with the one-on-one singles match, Hook versus Jericho. That kind of more so seems like what they were going with, but adding Shibata to the match should be a pretty fun idea. And next up we have Konosuke Takeshita defeating Matt Sydal. Takeshita will be taking on the IWGP World Heavyweight Champion Jon Moxley. Not a title match, but a title eliminator match. And they have noted on AEW television, if Takeshita does defeat Moxley, that he will get a shot at the championship, even if Moxley should lose the title, no matter who the IWGP World Champion is. And we have Malachi Black defeating Kyle O'Reilly. And then the lights go out and some flashing red, kind of like the Brew days, and all of a sudden Malachi Black gets hit with a bloodbath in the middle of the ring. The ring is just a complete mess at this time. And all over the ring crew definitely had a huge mess to clean up. And then we see the AEW TNT champion, the Rated R superstar Adam Copeland, on the screen. And he tells Malachi Black, be careful what you wish for. And the AEW World Champion Swerve Strickland defeats the Prodigy Nick Wayne. And Christian Cage comes out. Him and Swerve brawl outside. And this is where we see the return of Prince Nana. And Nana has a chair with him and gives it to Swerve. Has Christian on the hood of a car about to do a concerto, but Christian just barely escapes. So I would say the feud between Swerve Strickland and Christian Cage for the AEW World Championship, I know some people, when it was first announced that Christian Cage would be challenging Swerve Strickland at Double or Nothing, some people not too crazy about it, kind of thought it was just kind of cold at the time. But I would say that they did a pretty good job of this feud, building this rivalry, especially last week, Nick Wayne breaking the family photo of Swerve and his kids over his head, cutting his eye, and I thought that was done very well. Looking forward to this match this Sunday night at Double or Nothing. And then we have women's tag team action with the AEW Women's World Champion Timeless Toni Storm teaming with Mariah May to take on the Outcasts, Saraya and Harley Cameron, with Saraya's brother Zach Knight in their corner. Tony and Mariah get the win here. And then after more taunting from Timeless Toni with the Deep Dojo flag once again. And then we see the number one contender for the Women's World Championship make her way to the ring with the chair, nails Luther with it, and chases Toni Storm and Mariah May out of the ring. And our main event tonight on Dynamite, the American Dragon, Bryan Danielson, taking on the Giant Satsum Singh, along, of course, with Jeff Jarrett, Jay Lethal, and Sanjay Dutt in their corner. Danielson gets the win via disqualification, of course. A lot of interference in this one. But I thought they did a really good job on commentary explaining that it wasn't really about winning the match tonight. They just wanted to take out Bryan Danielson and collect the money, the bounty that the Young Bucks, the EVPs, put on the head of Bryan Danielson. And then the Young Bucks come out with an envelope of money to give them for taking out, or softening up, I guess you could say, Bryan Danielson for Anarchy in the arena this Sunday night. And then we see on the screen a car pull up, and it is Darby Allin getting out of the car, and then we see the driver of the car is none other than Tony Khan. They fist bump, and we see that Darby Allin has something in his hand. He makes his way into the arena, comes out with a flamethrower, and that is tonight's go-home episode of Dynamite before this Sunday's Double or Nothing pay-per-view. And overall, I would say tonight's Dynamite for a go-home show, very good. Great episode of Dynamite, I thought. And I think that Anarchy in the arena will probably, most likely, end up closing the show on Sunday night. But I'm sure Swerve and Christian Cage are definitely going to have a good main event. And I know people have been talking about, it's kind of demean Swerve's title run by not having the World Championship match close the show. Well, if that does happen, you never know. Things could change last minute, but the card for Double or Nothing looks stacked. Got the barbed wire steel cage match. Adam Copeland and Malachi Black, and they're building a triple main event. The TBS Championship, Willow Nightingale versus Mercedes Moné. The AEW World Championship match, of course, Swerve Strickland versus Christian Cage. And Anarchy in the arena, the Elite versus Team AEW. So I am definitely looking forward to Double or Nothing. And I will run down the full card on this Sunday morning's episode of Good Morning Wrestling Fans. So, hope you will join me then. And before I wrap up tonight's episode of 360 Wrestling Fanatic, episode 605, get into a little bit of news. And, wait, I forgot something. What I've been talking about on Wednesday episodes. Normally I talk about it first, but gotta do the WWE Speed recap. Almost forgot about that. I apologize. Normally I try to go in order of the shows, but yes, WWE Speed was this afternoon on X, and we had Tyler Bate taking on Apollo Crews. Of course, this was after Ivar out with injury now, wasn't able to compete last week on NXT, was running off in storylines, and then he did confirm that he had an injury. He's going to be out for a while. So Apollo Crews getting another chance at Speed. The winner of this one going on this Friday to take on the Speed champion Ricochet in his first title defense. As usual, only 3-minute time limit. Quick, fast-paced, exciting matchup. And it is Tyler Bate getting the win, defeating Apollo Crews. So this Friday on X at noon Eastern, it will be the strongest boy, Tyler Bate, taking on the first ever WWE Speed champion, Ricochet. Should be a very good match. Remember that, Friday, noon Eastern on X. And now, before I wrap up this episode of the podcast, get into a little bit of pro wrestling news. And Swerve Strickland is going to perform at AEW All-In Weekend at a Fozzy concert. That'd be pretty fun to see. And also, we have just a second here, Francisco Akira is off the remainder of the Best of the Super Juniors tour due to a left knee injury. And Brandy Rhodes, of course the wife of Cody Rhodes, undergoes a successful surgery for stage 4. Sorry, can't quite pronounce the word, but I'm sure you can look it up online. And that is about all the news I have for tonight's episode of 360 Wrestling Fanatic. Once again, big thank you to everyone for tuning in. You can go in the comment section, and yes, tonight, the regular audio podcast and the video version too. So on Spreaker, wherever podcast app you listen to on, if they have a comment section, and right here on YouTube, right here down below, I think that's what usually YouTubers say. Comment right there your thoughts on tonight's AEW Dynamite and your predictions for the WWE King and Queen of the Ring Premium Live event this Saturday and AEW Double or Nothing pay-per-view this Sunday night. So tune in to 360 Wrestling Fanatic this weekend as well. After both shows, well, Saturday we'll also be talking about that episode of Collision, which will also be from the MGM Grand Garden Arena. And also, just a reminder, tomorrow, 4 p.m. Eastern, a new episode of Anything Goes. Yep, it's back, talking about the Big Bang Theory. And then Friday, we also have a return of a podcast, 360 Fanatic Unleashed. Since Double or Nothing is this weekend, gonna be talking all about the first AEW Double or Nothing in 2019, where it all began at the MGM Grand Garden Arena. So check out both of those shows, and of course, we'll be back tomorrow morning for the Thursday episode of Good Morning Wrestling Fans. So hope everyone will join me in the morning. But until then, I am Lance, and I am a wrestling fanatic.